What's going on, everybody? If you don't know, now you do know. You're officially tuned in to a very special edition of the HFWB podcast series. This is your host, Clifton Pope, and with me today, I have a very special guy, a very special friend and everything, and I'm going to tell you why. We go way, way back, and we're going to get into the reasons why we go way, way back. But the one thing I love about this man sitting next to me is that he envisions the same thing that I envision, even though we come from two completely different worlds. We have one thing in common as far as just doing what we love, doing what we're passionate about, bringing people together to just have a good time and just make them feel happy and feel good about themselves for the greatness of the community. I mean, the dude is right here doing it through being a musician at heart, from using that and growing it overall into basically being his own DJ, his own karaoke master, and basically his own version of basically being a rock star, which is what he's envisioned from the get-go, just doing it with his own style and doing it with his own flavor. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you don't know who I'm talking about right now, I want to introduce y'all to Lou Ramos, aka DJ Lou of Rockstar Rise Entertainment, and he is here on the HFWB podcast series at this moment. What's going on, man?
Oh, I'm just really enjoying the weather right now. It's really nice to finally have some decent being outside in shorts weather.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing wrong with just, being outside, enjoying the weather. I mean, it's a beautiful day outside. For those who are listening to the audio version and not watching it on YouTube, we are basically outside his wonderful apartment. We decided why not come shoot a podcast episode outside, talk about the great things that we're doing in the community. I mean, look at what's going on. I mean, with the business card right here, it's official, Rockstar Rise Entertainment. But overall, Lou, I mean, just your journey, man. I mean, I've known you since, we go way, way back since middle school. So,
I met you 6th grade, you were 7th grade.
Yeah, we go back to middle school. And for those who don't know, me and Lou, we basically started off together in Cunningham Middle School here in Corpus Christi, Texas. We were both in the marching band. I played the tenor saxophone.
I was in the marching band.
We was in the marching band. Excuse me for stumbling on my words, y'all. We was in the marching band together. I played the tenor saxophone, and
I wanted to play the tenor saxophone, but they didn't have enough saxophones, so being the nice kid that I was, I volunteered to play the bass clarinet.
I remember that too. It was kind of funny, and I just remember all the times we were just like...
Well, we sat very close to each other, our instruments, so in between our band director, shout out to we also had Constante, right?
Yeah, Mr. Constante, Ms. Garcia.
Or actually, Mr. Shout out, Mr. Constante and Mr. Salinas both play mariachi, which I played heavily for 12 years mariachi.
Yes. I mean, I loved it, man. I had some pretty good times, being in band myself. And a lot of people don't know this about me. My grandfather, he used to play saxophone, and he used to be part of a band that traveled, all across, South Texas, did some shows, in Victoria and Houston, if I'm not mistaken. From my dad's side of the family. He was a very, very talented musician, and it's funny, and now here I am playing the saxophone at the time, and I don't know if I could still play now. I mean, if I probably could if I really tried, and if I ironically enough searched it from within my heart, I probably could, but...
When was the last time you played sax?
The last time I played saxophone was honestly, 10th grade, 10th, 11th grade. Yeah, and you meant, and it's like, I fell off as far as playing instruments back in high school, but you kept it going. I mean, for those who don't realize, I mean, this man right here plays the guitar. I mean, what you play drums?
Drums, piano, bass guitar, every instrument in the clarinet family. Shout out middle school and high school band. Because of that, I can actually read both treble and bass clef music. Because when I'm played the contrabass clarinet in middle school, they had me read tuba music.
Yeah.
But when I finally got to high school, Miss Garcia was like, "No, I'm not having that. You're not going to play the contrabass clarinet and read tuba music. You're going to read contrabass clarinet music, which is essentially treble clef." So I had to learn how to read both. That was fun.
Yes, and it's funny because it allowed you to, like you said, learn in different styles of music with the treble and the bass, and that's kind of like, that's how it transitioned into you just being so well diverse with just playing music. I mean, I give you all the credit in the world. I barely could master playing the tenor saxophone. I mean, this guy's over here playing guitar, drums. I mean, this guy is literally a one-man band within himself. I mean, but at the same time, he values the idea of just having that structure and having that band. When it comes to like a band and everything, and as far as all the instruments, what instrument do you feel like stands out to you the most that makes a band sound, just in any band in general?
Oh, I mean, I could give the cliche answer and say it's the loudest instrument, which would probably be the trumpet. Trumpet's very heavily influenced in a lot of, especially in the mariachi world here in Corpus, man. If you can play the trumpet, shout out to anybody who can play the trumpet. If you can play the trumpet, you can make a lot of money. But, gosh, I can't, honestly, but if I wanted to do a non-cliche answer, I can't answer that question because the point of having a band is it's every instrument coming together to make one energy. So the non-cliche answer, the one from my heart, is that there is no specific instrument that's bigger or better than the other. If it's a band, then every instrument matters, no matter how big or small.
I love that answer, and it's kind of like your idea of making that one sound that just sounds wonderful together, and it's like, it's just something that's so beautiful about it to where it's like you get lost within it, man. I remember times where I've gone to see like the orchestra here just playing this Corpus Christi Symphony Orchestra, which
I've always wanted to see them.
Yes, and by the way, for anybody who's looking to have like a wonderful time, go check out the Corpus Christi Symphony Orchestra. You won't regret it. Some of the most beautiful music I've ever heard, and usually I'm not the one to be into stuff like that, but me just sitting there and just kind of just listening to all the music, it brought back those memories of me being in band playing music, and it's just like, I don't know, something about that is just...
Something about a trip down nostalgia lane.
Yeah, a trip down nostalgia lane, exactly. I mean, I have to ask you this, what is your favorite instrument to play, and what is your least favorite instrument you've played? Like, what's your favorite instrument you love to play, and what's the instrument you could do without, if you better ask me.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. My favorite instrument.
Because you play a bunch of instruments, as you described. I mean, if you have to pick one that's like...
I could do without playing the clarinet, like the clarinet. I mean, if I'd never, that wasn't something I really enjoyed playing. As far as my favorite instrument, that's also the hard one. I played the guitarón for 12 years for a professional mariachi band. If anybody who doesn't know who that is. I
was just about to say, for those who are listening to the HFWB podcast series, please elaborate on what a
guitarón. It's essentially Spanish for big bass. If you can picture a mariachi band, it's the one guy that has the big old rounded belly instrument that he plucks the bass. See, because in mariachi, there's no drums, so in order to compensate for that type of rhythm, you need a flow of an upbeat and a downbeat from the guitar and the guitarón, the bass and the guitar. So probably that one, because that made me a lot of money growing up. I think I even skipped my high school prom to do a couple of mariachi gigs.
And that's real dedication right there. You went from doing a couple of mariachi gigs to basically doing, ironically enough, DJing gigs, karaoke gigs, and stuff like that. For those who are listening to the audio version, I'm actually holding up a wonderful, wonderful article of this guy, Lou Ramos' work as far as what he's doing within the community. He's making noise by basically having his own entity, being Rockstar Rise Entertainment. I mean, that's the reason why we kind of came full force, just to be honest with everybody. Because I remember scrolling one day on Facebook, you know, seeing him doing his thing, and it inspired me to where it's like, man, we need to. I know him from like middle school and stuff, high school, and a little bit of high school, and it's like, I'm trying to connect with people who are just all about just doing great things and just bringing people together in the community. And from what I saw, you were doing exactly that through the power of just sound and really just energy. And I mean, fast forward, look at where we are now. We're sitting outside of your apartment now recording this episode of the podcast. And it just goes to show you how far you have come and how we both have come within our journeys and everything. But what led you to doing everything as far as just coming up with Rockstar Rise Entertainment? Because when I saw that, I thought that was clever. It's very, very just unique, and it's just its own thing, man, and it describes what you're doing.
I guess it started about 4 years ago. Ironically enough, at the end of a mariachi gig, I had to go split some cash with one of our guitar players, and I ended up walking into a bar where a buddy of mine that we actually know, Jesse, he's a DJ. Shout out to Jesse.
Yeah, shout out to Jesse.
He was doing some karaoke stuff in there, and you know, at the time, I never really considered being a DJ. I had a couple of DJs in the family. It just really wasn't my thing, but I saw him there, and I was just super jazzed to see him. You know, we all spent, you know, all middle school together. You know,
yeah, middle school, yeah.
So we were really, really, really good friends. Yeah. So I was really interested in what he was doing with his life at the time, and he was working for a company where he hosted karaoke at different bars. So I just started hanging out with him for a couple of months, and after a while, I wasn't really doing anything special with my life. He asked me what I thought about what he was doing. He introduced me to his boss, and from there, it just started doing gigs. Just they would place me at places. I would go set up, go do gigs, learn about sound, learn how to adjust people's sound and stuff towards every singer, which is something that I kind of had an idea on how to do because of my music background and the fact that I study bands and live bands and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it was just there was something natural about the concept of what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I did it for 4 years. Within those 4 years, I ended up posting up at a wedding venue in Aransas Pass. I must have DJ'd like 67, 68 weddings in about a year and like 3 months maybe.
Yeah.
Give or take a wedding or two, I don't know. So I got a lot of that experience thrusted on me. I think all this like mixture of all of this experience and wisdom, after a while, I found myself in a position where I could have, I guess, through the empowerment of some friends, do my own thing.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do it my way. So I said, how can I put together the idea of a rock band and a karaoke platform? So I decided, okay, well, first off, you need a name. Rockstar Rise Entertainment. And I came up with the name it's actually from a band called The Doors. The band called The Doors, they have a song called L.A. Woman.
Right.
And in the breakdown of that song, Jim Morrison, the singer, he chants Mr. Mojo Risin', which is an anagram for I am Jim Morrison. So I said, okay, rise, Rockstar Rise, because, I mean, ever since I was in middle school, I've always wanted to be a rock star. So I said, okay, well, Rockstar Rise Entertainment. Rockstar Rise Entertainment presents me, DJ Lou, hosting karaoke, except with a twist. I have pyrotechnics at some of my shows. I have fire, smoke, lasers. It's just the sound. There's a lot of music and energy in between singing. You know, I'll go and I'll sing. It's just, I was finally in a position where I was liberated and empowered to take what I learned and ultimately run with it with my own idea. And now I got 6 gigs a week, and I'm on this beautiful newspaper article, which is really cool and humbling.
Yes. And it just goes to show you how much you've put into work and made it work and basically created your own sense of wealth through the work that you've done. And it's like, and it comes with like just a simple passion, a simple drive. drive is just far as you're just wanting to do the things that you want to do, if anything. What drives you and what gets you motivated to do exactly what it is you do, which is, like you just said, bring the Rockstar atmosphere to a karaoke environment. I mean, that's just mind-blowing within itself, and when I think about it, it's like, that is very, very creative, and it's like, that just speaks to how creative you truly are, Lou. And I mean, I know this about you, and a lot of people don't realize this. For everyone who's listening to the HFWB podcast series, this man sitting next to me is one of the most creative guys that I've ever met in my life, and it's like, his vision is so out there. When he throws it out there, and then he kind of reels it back in, and kind of is like, yeah, this is kind of like the vision that I see, and this is how I kind of like to operate in this space and everything. What drives you to be within that space and allow you to operate, man?
How does one explain ambition?
Yeah.
Where my ambition comes from is I give a lot of energy throughout my week, but I get a lot of it back from the people that I give it to, like the Salty Dolphin. Shout out to the Salty Dolphin. The owner's amazing. The love that I get from the owner, the love that I get from the people who show up on a regular basis, it's ultimately the ultimate endorphin release for me. I feel really good knowing that I've just been a part of someone else's good time. Make no mistake, brother, for the name Rockstar Rise Entertainment, I do play a good consistent amount of hip-hop and country to please everyone, and I think that's what sets me apart, is that it's not so much, hey, come hang out with me, come see me, maybe you'll like what I got. It's like, no, come hang out, come see me, what do you like?
That's the best way to do it. It's like, do it more for the people and move the crowd for good intentions versus doing it for selfish reasons and greed, so to speak. And that's what it's all about, man. Just doing it as far as for the community and everything. When you think of the word community, Lou, what comes to your mind?
Is that TV show with Childish Gambino?
I wasn't even thinking about that, but you might be onto something.
You see where my mind goes. It doesn't. It's just like, oh, it's a TV. No, Community.
It's all good, man.
It's in my mind. Community is a group of individuals who are living separate lives, but who are living separate lives to make everyone else's lives good.
Yeah. And to add to that, if we could come together as one from a, hey, I got nothing but love for you, I respect what you do, vice versa, we can have more sense of unity in the community. And hey, it should just be a beautiful thing to see for the most part. But overall, Lou, I mean, I'm going to ask you some questions that I usually ask people who who come on my podcast on a regular basis, my own little fire round, so to speak. But of course, for you, my brother, I'm going to throw a little bit of a twist on it. First question, what is the first thing you do or think of every single day that you wake up?
First thing I do, for those of you that don't know, I have 2 dogs, Libby and Vito, which I love very much. They're the ultimate stress relief for me, and they're the number one thing that I look forward to when I get off of a gig late at night. Whataburger. Gotta buy some extra Whataburger for the dogs. When I wake up, they sleep with me. They're small enough, but they sleep in the bed with me.
Yeah.
So when I wake up, I gotta make sure that they're still there. Like, did I smother them? Are they good? We good? Yeah. Everyone's awake? Everyone's alive? Cool. All right, go back to bed. So the first thing I think of is, yay, I'm alive. Where are my dogs? Gotta make sure they're good.
Got you. Obviously, we all know that you're one hell of a musician. For anyone who's listening to the HFWB podcast series and hasn't figured that out, so it's only right if I ask you. I mean, if you haven't figured it out, we have some wonderful albums right here, right behind us. For those who are listening to the audio and not watching on YouTube. Who is some of your favorite bands of all time and why? And I kind of have a feeling a couple of these albums behind me are have something to do with it?
Well, okay. Well, so one of them is going to showcase my favorite band. And that right here is Def Leppard. I have Pyromania album, and I think I did some research on this specific one. This isn't one of the remade ones. This one actually came out in the '80s, so I keep it in its plastic.
Yes, original stuff right here, y'all. For those who are listening,
I got it pretty cheap too, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But Def Leppard, just because of whether I got it subconsciously from watching them, all their videos and stuff, you know, as I got older, or listening to their music. But this is probably, in my opinion, one of the most ambitious bands in the world, rock bands, because all they've ever done since they got out of high school was try to be in a band. And, you know, to make the long story short, between them, their drummer lost their arm half before they even made Pour Some Sugar on Me, but that didn't stop them. They still kept on going, and all the hit singles that they have, it's just they always wanted to top themselves. They never wanted to settle. You know, they wanted one hit single on one album, then 2 hit singles on the next album, and then 3 on the next album, and then, I mean, hell, Def Leppard's pretty much by this time a household name for a reason.
That's true.
So that's my favorite, probably my favorite band, honestly.
I hear you. And speaking of favorite bands, say for instance you're in a scenario to like you're trapped on an island, right? And you had to listen to 3 albums for the rest of your life. What would they be and why?
Well, okay, so that leads me to this bad boy right here. Another one of my most prized possessions. This right here, Phil Collins' Face Value album. This one, I could listen to every single day. It's just in the most plainest terms. It's beautiful. It's the music behind his soul. It's just I could listen to that on an island every day. It's got some In the Air Tonight, ultimate drum beat of the world, drum breakdown.
Right.
Plus a lot of others that maybe the average public wouldn't know about unless you heard the album. But I can 100% guarantee you, when you can have the director of Tarzan tell you, "Hey, Phil Collins, bring it down a notch. It's just a Disney movie." Then you know you're good at what you do.
See, I didn't even know that Phil Collins did the music for the Tarzan.
Do you remember crying in Tarzan? You ever cried watching Tarzan?
Yeah.
As an adult, because of this man.
See, and we just got ourselves an HFWB exclusive. See, I didn't even know that, and it's like, hey, we learn something new every single day. We know now that Phil Collins is behind the song Cry. What was it? Cry? Give Me a Cry?
Oh, give me one of the many bangers of that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, all of them. Son of Man, that Cry one that you're talking about.
Yeah, that one.
More.
Basically, Phil Collins, we all got to listen to the man's music because he's incredible. I probably need to add him into my rotation myself because I forgot about it myself and slept on it for so many years, and shame on me for that. But overall, it's crazy how that works out, man.
There were also, just one last fun fact, he was also the singer for a band called Genesis, which was pretty cool. But to answer your question, to continue answering your question, the second album I would probably listen to over and over again would maybe be from a band called Shinedown, Amaryllis. Okay. There was one point in my life where I was traveling through Colorado, and it's just the subconscious that I have of it now. Every time I listen to one of those songs, I instantly am taken back to when I'm driving, and I just see nothing but miles of mountain in between me. And it's just being 18 years old and driving to Colorado on your own is just an experience in of itself. But when you got a wonderful masterpiece behind it like Shinedown, can't argue with that. And then my third favorite album, any AC/DC album, really. Just you can pick one. I'm fine with that.
Yes, shout out to AC/DC. They're a great band to listen to, especially when you work out. Little fun fact, they're probably in my rotation once or twice a week alone, just off of working out in general, because their music's incredible. And since we're throwing out fun facts here, here's a little fun fact that you may not know about Lou. He's really into superheroes and stuff like that, and he's real into the Marvel Universe, and it's like, who isn't? Like he just said, I mean, I'm into it as well, so I figured since we're both superhero nerds to a certain extent, who is your favorite superhero and why?
I like that one. My favorite superhero, hands down, has to be Captain America, and simply because he would be the epitome of start from your heart. He would be the original start from your heart guy.
Yeah.
Because if anyone is not familiar with Captain America, which you should be, so I'm sorry, but Captain America was once a very physically underwhelming individual with a lot of health issues who was 5'2", but really wanted to just stand up for the little guy, and him being himself a little guy, he wanted to be in the military, but he was turned down, and through various amount of tests, they gave him a super soldier serum that just amplified his very being, not just physically, but his heart and everything. And Captain America is who he is, not just because of his muscles and his super speed and his just him being the leader of the Avengers, but because of who Steve Rogers is as a person.
Yeah, a lot of people, and I love that answer, because a lot of people sleep on Captain America, aka Steve Rogers. I mean, if you paid attention to all the movies, and if you noticed, he always has a scene where he's literally fighting the main bad guy, and it's for a reason, because it's like he's a soldier. I mean, he literally will fight you, and he'll literally pick you apart and figure out what your weakness is as he's fighting you. I mean, look what happened with him in the fight with him and Iron Man. He eventually figured out, oh, I need to take out Iron Man's scepter that's in the middle.
But because he has a good heart,
he didn't kill him.
He took off his mask knowing that he wouldn't be able to open it without the power.
Yeah, he did. He really did. I mean, and that just goes to show you, I mean, Captain America, for those who don't remember Captain America Civil War, he could have killed Iron Man right at the end of the movie, but because he had such a good heart, he let him make it by saying, nah, I'm just going to cut your thing off.
Who's your favorite superhero?
Spider-Man, without question. And it's like, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero easily, because it's like...
So now that we have hundreds of them, which one's your favorite Spider-Man?
My favorite Spider-Man movie? Oh, man.
No, Spider-Man in general. Like, just from... It could be from this Into the Spider-Verse to any of the Spider-Man movies,
Spider-Man 3.
So, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
In Spider-Man 3. So, you like the emo, goofy...
I love that
Maguire walk.
Yeah, I love that. It brought out a side that I didn't expect, and at the same time, it closed out that trilogy very, very well, because it's like you have him fighting the Green Goblin, Harry's son. I mean, Norman Osborn's son, Harry.
Yeah, he really didn't catch a break, that movie, did he?
No, he really did.
That movie doesn't catch a break. I thought it's good, but it gets a lot of,
I personally thought it was the best Spider-Man movie I saw until Spider-Man No Way Home, to be quite honest.
Let's not get out of hand, because Spider-Man 2 with Dr. Octavius was probably one of the best Spider-Man movies.
It really was. I love Spider-Man 2. If I had to rank the Spider-Man movies, it would be probably, obviously, Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man 3, the Tobey Maguire one, Spider-Man 2, the first Spider-Man with Tobey. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Mans are kind of, they were okay, but I was like, if I had to rank them, I would probably say the second one, then the first one.
Really?
Yeah, the first one was kind of, the second one was more intense because it had Electro in it. And then all the other Spider-Man movies, they can go after that, but Spider-Man to me is my favorite superhero, because it's like, with great power comes great responsibility, and I feel like when you do have some sort of power within your possession, you do have to be responsible and wise on how you maneuver it, because it can literally corrupt you if you're not careful.
That's kind of the whole point of our foundation that we're doing, the Start From Your Heart Foundation. We want to help to empower the right people, because, like the concept that he just said, if you give the wrong person power, they're selfish with it, or they'll do bad things with it. But if you give somebody, the right person, power, like Captain America, then they do for others, and that's kind of the whole point.
And if you do And it's all about looking out for your neighborhood, hence Spider-Man, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. See, you can learn a little bit from everything, even superheroes. I mean, look what me and Lou are doing. We're making Captain America and Spider-Man references just so we can empower you to do better with your life. But with that being said, I want to ask you, whenever you're not doing all the things that you're doing, what are some of your favorite hobbies that you like to do that many people may not know you like to do?
Well, I'm really sore right now because I went golfing for the first time in like a year, and I made all 18 holes though. I will not say on this podcast what I hit because even I am a little embarrassed with the number, but it's definitely more than 100 for anybody who plays golf. Which I'm a little rusty, but golfing is something that I'm starting to pick up again. Besides that, my life right now revolves around energy and high energy and music and just like people that when I'm not doing all that, which I'm doing it 6 nights a week right now, and the summer's on its way, and it's not going to get, spring break, I'm double booked for like 3 days. But when I'm not doing all that, I'm listening to jazz in my car, or I'm listening to classical music. Shout out to NPR. Which is a radio station that plays classical music. That's really awesome. I love that. Or I'm hanging out in my apartment alone in the dark playing Hogwarts Legacy because it's shout out to Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter, and they finally made a really, really cool video game about it where you can essentially be your own Harry Potter character.
Yes, and that is
you got to see it.
Yes, yeah. I've got to see it many, many a times. And what we just did, we did a little bit of a revetio for you. And for those who don't know what that means, we basically revealed some wonderful hobbies and some things that you probably didn't know about this guy right here, Lou Ramos. I mean, this is what we do on the HFWB podcast series. We bring out exclusives here. Which leads me to this very last question, which is a very interesting one that I always ask everybody. If you have the opportunity to go back in time and talk to yourself 10 years ago, what would you tell yourself? And at the same time, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Well, I've seen Back to the Future too many times, so I'm not 100% sure that I tell myself anything. But if I could tell myself something without consequences, and it only aids myself, just that, man, I'd love to tell myself, where to stop worrying. There are certain aspects that you don't realize until you get older that you spend way too much time worrying on it. And, that could have been time spent building yourself or breaking down insecurities or stuff, but just, if I could tell myself as a kid one thing, I would just look him in the eyes and say, I love you. That's it.
That.
Just show myself some love, and that's it. And if 10 years from now, I couldn't even see myself where I'm at now, let alone 10 years from now. So I don't really know how I can answer that question.
No, that's fair enough.
Shout out once again to Felicia Gomez.
Yes. Shout out to the lovely Felicia Gomez Simpson, Felmy. Y'all need to go check out her podcast. And yeah,
she wrote the article. She wrote the article that I'm in, so that's pretty cool.
Yes, I mean,
that's her right there.
Shout out to Felicia. Felmy. I mean, she's wonderful. She's very multi-talented within her own way.
That's it.
Yeah. Y'all go download the Felmy podcast.
I'll be on this podcast at the end of the month, which is pretty cool.
So that's some more exclusive stuff. With that being said, let the people know what you got coming up. I mean, where can people find you at creating this wonderful Rockstar Life atmosphere? I mean, where can people contact you as far as just to get in touch with you, have a conversation? I mean, let the people know, man. This is your time to shine.
Well, I'm not really much of a boastful person, but for the sake of knowing where to go to have some fun and feel like a rock star, every Tuesday I host a really, really dope bingo session. It's free. We do give prizes away. You drink, high energy, everyone's having fun. I'm bantering with the crowd's bantering back with me. It's just a really fun atmosphere. That's grown. shout out to the Boathouse. Sierra and Laura McDonald, you guys are awesome. You guys are running the Boathouse right now, and
shout out to the Boathouse.
yeah, that's where we had our first launch event for
The Start from the Heart Foundation. Shout out to Miss Laura McDonald and the wonderful staff there. They're wonderful people, so down to earth, without question.
So I'm there every Tuesday. Every Wednesday and Friday, I host what I call Karaoke Built for Rockstars. I host that at 361 Bar in Port Aransas every Wednesday and Friday. And that's from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. It's really cool. Lights, lasers, smoke, alcohol,
You know, you got,
professional sound.
yeah, you gotta have that.
Every Thursday, I usually leave off for meetings and stuff. I think this Thursday I'm actually shooting a small promotional video for Rockstar Rise Entertainment.
To add a quick little plug, for those who will be listening to the podcast at a later date, be sure to go check out Lou's video that just came out. It's going to probably be something that's going to blow your mind, just so you can, you know, just for those who are listening to this at a later notice.
Yeah.
I mean? But that thing, but...
It's like, see, I don't even remember I have so much stuff going on. I was never prepared for this in life.
Exactly. But yes, I mean...
But Thursdays, I'll actually be at the Salty Dolphin on Spring Break Thursday, one of the Spring Break Thursdays. Speaking of
Salty Dolphin,
I'll be there every Saturday for the next 2 months and every Sunday for the rest of the year. So that's going to be awesome. Salty Dolphin, that's in North Padre. Really, really great place. We are working right now on a very, very big first annual April Fool's Day North Padre Beach Bash. We have, if you can go on my Rockstar Rise Entertainment page, I have a link to where you can buy shirts. We have sponsors on the back of the shirts now. I myself, Rockstar Rise Entertainment, is one of the sponsors, so that's really awesome.
word.
It's going to be a big beach event. Axe throwing, crawfish, turkey legs. I'm going to be playing music the whole entire day. I will offer karaoke. Stevie Start, one of the local celebrities on North Padre. Shout out to Stevie Start. He's going to be playing guitar, a couple of sets for us to plug into my system. It's going to be a really, really fun time. That's going to be April 1st.
Yes.
And besides that, I just have a lot of gigs coming up, a lot of weekly gigs that you can check out. It's really fun.
I mean, if you haven't figured it out by now, he can go on and on and on. I mean, the list is literally like this. And that just goes to show you how much of an entertainer you are and how much you care about just putting on the best possible shows for the sake of the community and just to help people forget about the stressful times that they go through in life and just give them a chance to just, like, you know, be happy, be themselves, and just enjoy a nice, wonderful vibe within itself. And this is something that I'm issuing a challenge for everybody listening to the HFWB podcast series. And I'm going to include myself in this challenge. I challenge you to go check out this guy, Lou Ramos' set at one of those locations he just mentioned. I myself personally, I'm going to be going to more of the Salty Dolphin gigs because I just love the atmosphere there. Me and my wonderful girlfriend Emily Espinosa, we went over there a couple of weeks ago. We just loved it. We had the time of our lives, and yeah, man, it's just all about just supporting local talent, supporting people who are doing great things within the community. I mean, hey, look where I am now. I am linked up with my friend Lou Ramos on the HFWB podcast series. I mean, this is one of the busiest and most creative guys that I know. The fact that he's making time out of his day just to make this happen, I'm truly grateful, I'm truly honored, and I'm truly humbled. We had to get this set up on the fly, but sometimes great things happen when we're on the fly because we do what we have to do to stay fly. And that's how we have to end this episode of the HFWB podcast series. With that being said, Lou, thank you so much for just taking time out of your day just to come on the HFWB podcast series. And with that being said, this is your host, Clifton Pope, and I encourage everybody to stay healthy, wealthy, and blessed. And until next time, peace and love, y'all.
It's been a privilege, honor, and a pleasure.
Appreciate y'all. Take care.